This is 7-year-old Heidi Villanueva. You see, Heidi and her 2-year-old sibling were parked with their father about 6 p.m. when he dropped his wife off at the El Tapatio store and restaurant on 103rd Street. While waiting for her to return, gunfire erupted nearby during a robbery attempt, and Heidi was struck in the head. The family had moved from Honduras to Jacksonville, Florida to escape violence in their home country. Police quickly arrested these 5 people.
Police arrested 50-year-old Kezia Holmes on Saturday. The charge, tampering with evidence. She has since bonded out, according to jail records. Her son, 28-year-old Edward Garcia, is wanted for accessory after the fact.
2 other men, Abrion Price and Stanley Harris, they were arrested last week in connection to the 7-year-old's murder. Juvenile Trevante Phoenix was also arrested and will be tried as an adult.
From what we gather here at Prime Crime Network, Phoenix and Price allegedly arranged a gun sale at a nearby IHOP restaurant with the intention of robbing the person instead. Phoenix was committing a robbery on Harris while Price looked out. After the 2 men ran off, Harris begins to open fire in the direction that the men ran. The men returned fire. In the midst of all this gunfire, the Villanueva's vehicle was stuck in the crossfire, and little Heidi was struck in the head. The bullet that struck and killed little Heidi was said to came from Stanley Harris's gun, which his defense denies. So he later asked the court to withdraw his plea.
Stanley Harris is one of 4 men involved in the shootout that killed 7-year-old Heidi Rivas Villanueva. All had pleaded guilty, including Harris, but later he asked the judge to withdraw his plea, arguing he didn't understand the details of the 3rd-degree murder plea, and his lawyer argues prosecutors didn't check the trajectory of all the bullets at the scene. But in the end, Judge Mark Barella wasn't buying it, saying Harris's argument is not credible.
Abrion Price also denies having anything to do with little Heidi Villanueva's murder.
You see, open the door. When he opened the door, he popped, bang, 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 bang. And when he, bro, what you got going at this shit, bro? You know what I'm saying? So when he get some money or whatever, he get out of there. And on the camera, you see me run. I know you see me run. I'm telling him to come on. Look, bro, you tripping. You tripping, look, you tripping hard. What the do I look like? I'm fresh out of prison. I ain't been out for 3 months. What the do I look like? Robbing the broad daylight. It's 1,000 cameras out here.
Trevante Phoenix quickly accepted his plea deal, as did Abrion Price.
Trevante Phoenix faces 20 years to life in prison. A judge will decide his fate. An exact court date for Phoenix's sentencing is still in the works tonight. One of the suspects in the shooting that killed a 7-year-old girl last year has now entered a guilty plea. Abrion Price could face life in prison for the 2nd-degree murder of Heidi Rivas Villanueva. She was hit by a stray bullet while in the back seat of her family's car over on the west side.
Stanley Harris, he was sentenced to 20 years for the child's death and 5 more years for shooting into the car. Abrion Price was sentenced to 30 years in prison for felony murder. Trevante Phoenix was sentenced to 30 years in prison for felony murder. And Edward Garcia was sentenced for time served as an accessory. Now, he will be transferred back to Tallahassee because he has to go back there for a burglary case that he was accused of being involved in.
Breaking overnight, we have learned the name of the 7-year-old girl shot and killed on the west side last night. Heidi Rivas Villanueva. She was sitting in a car in a plaza on 103rd Street when a group of young men started a shootout. That little girl was caught in the crossfire.
My brother, growing up, he was a good young man, you know what I'm saying? He never got in any trouble, and they got him falsely accused. My brother didn't kill no one. I'm sorry about the loss of the family, but he didn't kill no one.
Price in court today, caught by a JSO deputy last night on 103rd Street after days of searching for him. Those family members saying he was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
He heard shots, he went to running. He was eating and ducking. You can see it in the video.
One thing I'll tell you, if you repent, God will forgive you. They'll never be able to fully pay for what they've done, but we feel better knowing they aren't on the streets hurting other people.
Me dijo que ya tienen 2 sospechosos bajo arresto y happy that they're not on the street making more damage.
La justicia se encarguen de esos hombres.
And prior to the call, a woman living less than a mile away from the crime scene says she called police after recognizing one of the suspects on TV as her neighbor. A full-scale search had neighbors wondering if they had a lead.
A la policía de Jacksonville, a todos que le hagan justicia a mi hija.